Aztec Safety is #1 for online safety training.
Aztec Safety is the proud sponsor of the Aztec Safety Challenge, the #1 event on the World Curling Tour.
And Aztec Safety has been a proud sponsor of Team Jacobs on our quest to represent Canada at the Olympic Games.
Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
And Maeda. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Curling Stadium's final day of coverage here at the Grand Slam of Curling Canadian Open Tier 2 event in Martensville, Saskatchewan. My name's Jim Nixon. I'll be joined here with Jason Chang, and we're going to be bringing you tiebreakers. Tiebreakers, a new word in curling in the last year or so. So we have 3 men's tiebreakers, I think, this morning, Jason. So it should be a pretty exciting morning draw here early in the day in Saskatchewan.
Well, it is certainly bright and early in Saskatchewan, 8 a.m., 9 Eastern, and it is, of course, tiebreakers and a very interesting matchup. We have a very experienced team, Japanese squad, skipped by Tsuyoshi Yamaguchi, and this Italian squad skipped by the youngster, Giacomo Colli.
Yeah, it's interesting because I had to look up where Colli, I think, I don't know which way we pronounce it, but where he was from. I'm thinking, well, who is that person? And was surprised to see Italy as a home country because I had no idea who they were. So, yeah, it should be interesting.
Yeah, it is the first time that I've seen them play. So it is going to be a very interesting match. I believe they have played in the World University Games before.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. I didn't even have a chance to look anything up about them, but it's they come from a place where they have a pretty good set of mentors in the Returnes team and of the last number of years. So they were certainly, I don't know how well they know them or participate with them or anything, but it's a good team to look at and pattern yourself after for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned tiebreakers, and we've got quite a few of them on the men's side. We've got, in fact, 3 tiebreakers to get to that final 8. On sheet 4, we have a Japanese-Chinese matchup, Takumi Maeda playing Xu Xiaoming of China. On sheet 2, it is an all-prairie matchup, Jordan McDonald against Kelly Knapp. And then, of course, this is our feature sheet right here.
Yeah, interesting mix of teams and just the way it worked out with the 2 Canadian teams taking each other on. And yeah, it was a wild one yesterday as we made our way through the day trying to figure out who was going to be in and who was going to be out. And a couple of surprises along the way for me as a couple of teams that aren't in the playoffs that surprised me a little bit that they weren't. But that's the way this goes. You had ample opportunity to get there. If you finished 2-2 and had a really good draw to the button or a decent draw to the button, I think that you were probably going to get yourself a playoff spot, but some had to miss. So
yeah, these are the last 6 on the men's side trying to fight for a spot in that final 8. And as you mentioned, they each had 4 preliminary round games, and if you went 4-0 or 3-1, then you're definitely into the playoff round. I don't know if anybody actually went 4-0. I think a bunch of teams went 3-1, but no one went undefeated. And then, of course, there were so many at 2-2. That's created so many tiebreakers here.
Yeah, it was wild. No, you're right. There isn't anybody that went 4-0. There was 5 teams, I think, that finished 3-1, and then a few 0-4s and 1-3s, and everybody else was 2-2. So, yeah, it was wild. It was cool. So we're just kind of underway here. We're making our way through the first few shots here in end number 1. As we mentioned, we have a young Italian team, which probably for most of you, certainly for us, is the first time that we've had an opportunity to see them. They'd obviously won a couple of games to get to this point, including beating Lucas Klima in their first game, which was good shot there, which ended up being Klima actually ended up going 3-1 and qualified without having to go through the tiebreaker. So that was a good start for them. Then they lost a couple. Then they defeated Kevin Cooey, stealing 1 in the 8th end late yesterday, to procure a spot here in the tiebreaker and to knock Cooey out of tiebreakers.
Yeah, on the women's side, we also have one tiebreaker, Madeline Dupont of Denmark playing Kate Cameron of Manitoba. So all 4 sheets in Martensville being used for this Grand Slam Curling Canadian Open Tier 2.
Yeah, it's great. I always love tiebreakers. I love tiebreakers when all I did was watch events because I just thought, well, that'd be cool to have tiebreakers in the morning, and then they kind of got rid of tiebreakers pretty much, or they stopped televising tiebreakers. So anyway, so it's kind of neat to be here and doing these games, and all must-win games. Obviously, all the losers are out and all the winners are in. Pretty long
Yeah,
day
we've got
ahead of all
something
of them.
interesting.
Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we've got an interesting format here. If you haven't been joining us, we are playing, 5 rock free guard zone. The no-tick rules in effect, but each team only allowed to blank one end during the game. And so once you blank one end, if you blank a second end, usually that's by accident, or they may have planned it but forgot they already blanked an end, you actually will lose the hammer. So you don't want to blank a second end, or you can't blank a second end really, or else you're going to be punished for it.
Yeah, I think it definitely affects all kinds of parts of the game, but particularly early in the game when teams before would, maybe go a little soft the first couple of hands, figuring, well, if I got hammer, I'll just blank if I don't get anything going. I'm not going to go too hard to do that. But now you can find yourself in a position where the other team sort of forces you to take a point just with one rock in the house. So you got to be a little careful in these first few ends now, for sure. So a very nice shot there.
Yeah, and I called the game yesterday between Holly Duncan and forgot who she was playing, but she decided to not play the blank, just drew for one. She could have blanked and rolled out. Instead, she decided she wanted to keep that blank in her back pocket for later in the game, so they actually took the one.
Yeah, somebody said yesterday too in our little group chat that one team did forget early on and actually blanked the 7th end and found themselves without hammer in the 8th end because that was their second blank. So, and that was the case. I don't think that was as you mentioned, that usually you'd expect that to be an accident. In this case, I don't think it was. I think it was very early in the competition. I think they just forgot about the rule. It's not a rule that we've had in effect in very many events so far. So that would be understandable, I guess.
And one change for the tiebreakers and into the playoff round is during the preliminary round, we did not do extra ends. You did a draw to the button. If the game was tied after 8 in the tiebreakers and the playoffs, there will be a full extra end played.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. It would be kind of odd to add a tie-breaking game and then have the tie-breaking game decided by a draw to the button at the end. That would seem, something about that would seem kind of odd. So Colli now with a chance to hit and sit 3 here early in the first end. Looks like Yamaguchi has hammer, so not in major trouble yet. Yamaguchi playing with 3 as they have all weekend, and it looks to me like it's I think the skip did their first game in this event, and it was the skip Yanagisawa was the one that wasn't here and wasn't playing. I shouldn't say.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the Italians are playing a really nice end here. They've got the force well in control here.
A very nice control weight hit here for the 4th rock thrower, Alberto Ziza.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of 4th rock throwers being, I guess, the vice skip and the skip playing the third stones. Excuse me. Team Yamaguchi. They also normally use that sort of lineup as well, with Yamaguchi throwing the third stones, like Yanagisawa throwing the final stones.
Yeah, even here we see more of that than we used to see, but it kind of calmed down a little bit for a while. It seemed like every team you saw practically was running some kind of a different structure than the traditional structure, but still see it for sure. Solid hit here. It looks like Colli will take this out, and Yamaguchi, no doubt, will have a hit and stick for his final rock here in end 1. Not what he was looking for, but you got to take it if it's there. Very good first end, though, for the Italians. Pending them not doing anything weird on this shot, which I wouldn't expect they would. Just probably discussing on exactly where they want to roll here. Looks like they probably are going to roll. I don't know which way. I would think they're rolling to the, as we look at the overhead, a little bit to the right. But
yeah, that's what I would assume as well. Maybe roll 1 foot to the right.
yeah, something where maybe if Yamaguchi hits it, he has to actually make a little bit of a roll to score. But main objective here, make sure you make it go away. Secondly, make sure you stay and don't jam it on the yellow one at the back, and you're safe. So looked like a good throw out of his hand. Trying to make it curl a little bit. And no problem, just stays right there. So good start for Alberto. Just a reminder, we are here all day. We are covering these tiebreakers, obviously, and then we're covering the quarterfinals and on both men's and ladies' side, and semifinals later today. And then tomorrow, the teams that are left, the two men's, two women's teams that are left, will play in the final on, I believe it's on Rock Channel, and they will play that at the Saskatoon facility that's hosting the Tier 1. Gonna go pretty hard here, make sure it doesn't get away from you, and he's fine. So a very good shot for Yamaguchi, and he will take a early 1-0 lead here at the Grand Slam of Curling Tier 2 event in Martensville, Saskatchewan.
Brett, come on, man. I know Aztec's #1 for online safety training, but we really should be out here practicing.
I know, guys. I'll be right there. Just let me finish this course on gas detection. Wait. Do you smell that?
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatoon in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbeck coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsoctickets.com. Let's rock!
So, Team Colli forcing Yamaguchi to take 1 in the first end. Getting hammered back quite cheaply, and we go to end number 2 with Colli trailing 1-0. Here in our tiebreakers on Saturday morning in Martensville.
Yeah, you mentioned a long day here, especially for the teams in this tiebreaker. If you get through the tiebreaker, you could have a couple more games today.
Yep. A little hard, a little easier to take sometimes when I suspect this is like every other bonspiel. The money goes up a little bit as you win games. So as long as you keep winning, that can soften the wear and tear on the body. Yamaguchi playing with 3, so they have a little bit more work to do. But at the same time, some will argue that they have a little bit of an advantage playing with 3 in a short time event like this, where you're going to play 5, 6, 7 games in 5 days or 6 days. It's a long event. It starts on Tuesday morning, or started on Tuesday morning. How do you feel about that, Jason? I've heard that argument.
Yeah, the good news.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead with what you were going to say.
Yeah, I mean,
after.
Yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying about the 3-person team. I think a lot of teams have said, and I tend to agree with them, that if it's you're not playing too many games and you're not stressing the body too much, a 3-person team can be an advantage. You know, first two players, they get to throw 3 rocks in a row. So, sometimes you throw one a little bit light. The next one you can get right, and you can get 2 right? You get 2 out of 3. If the first one doesn't go so well, if you're repeating the same shot or trying to find the speed, it can be a bit of an advantage. But again, a little bit more stress on the body. So if it's a longer week, more games, or more compact the games are, that can become a disadvantage. So World Curling is actually looking at and studying the rules of the game and seeing whether they want to continue to allow 3-person teams to be allowed in World Curling competition, because it has been brought up as a potential advantage in some cases, and or what counter rules you might put in place if a team has to play with 3 players. So those discussions are happening within the competition's rules committee at World Curling.
Very interesting, and a very nice shot there by Kozumi. Ironically, that was his 3rd of 3, so he had a chance to lock in on it and made it perfect.
Yeah, just like we said, right?
Yeah. The curlers are in such great shape these days, and that's what also makes that possibility of going with 3 more realistic than it would have been in the old days, if you will. Trying to make the double here. It's going to be close.
Yeah, just caught it a hair thin.
Yeah.
That's why that shooter slid kind of under it. It actually pushed Yamaguchi's rock directly behind the corner, and now they've got a 4 set up here.
Yeah.
And I do want to acknowledge the Japanese fans, who I'm sure are up, I guess, late at night in Japan. I was going to say Ohayo gozaimasu, but maybe it's konbanwa to all our Japanese fans staying up late to watch Yamaguchi, and of course Maeda also on the ice.
Yeah, they're very loyal followers, for sure. And actually, some events, it's not as many men's teams, but some events on the ladies' side, particularly in the Asian group, has, for example, if I'm not mistaken, the Tier 1 this week, if you looked it up, I think you're going to have 4 teams from Korea, 4 teams from Japan, and that's half the field.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a nice draw, too. Yamamoto.
Well, we talked about...
Go ahead.
Sorry about that. I was just going to say we talked about who's in the tiebreakers, but we didn't mention who's already directly into the final 8. So I was just going to recap that.
Yeah.
3-1 teams were Michael Brunner of Switzerland, Lukas Klima of the Czech Republic, Marcus Ramsfeld of Norway, Mark Keane and Sam Morbrook, both from Ontario.
So appeal coming here for Team Colli. Not going to be able to run it back. Going to miss it, I think, so. It's okay. Plan A accomplished. Wouldn't have minded picking that one up on the way by, because he still would have rolled far enough to be okay as far as being out of the path, but Yamaguchi doesn't have hammer this time, but so far well into control of this. Both kind of a reverse situation for the teams in these first 2 ends. Last end, Yamaguchi chased the whole end when he had hammer, and this end, Colli's pretty much chasing the whole end when he has hammer, so interesting.
Yeah, this is almost a little bit wired. They're going to have to carve it over a bit to get this coverage.
Which is fine, just meant that they did go a little deeper than they were looking to go.
Yeah, that makes this run back just a little bit easier. Yeah, they had to carry it a little bit further to get the backstone buried. Now the run back, as you mentioned, a little bit closer. You expect that for these kind of 5-foot run backs, 6-foot run backs, these teams are making it most of the time, so.
Yep, so Giacomo Colli throws the 3rd stone, calls the game, but does throw 3rd stone for this team. Is now looking to make the double. I don't know if he's going to get over far enough. He's close, and he will. So very well done. Like Jason mentioned, those run backs of that length for these teams are probably, I would expect them to make contact probably 90% or more of the time, and actually make it all the way they want to do it 80% of the time. So.
Yeah, I heard a stat a number of years ago, and I think the teams are even better now, that like a 5 or 6 foot run back The men's teams are making that about 85 or 90% of the time. So
Yeah. So that was a good guess I had there then. I wasn't really sure. Just figured it had to be something like
I'm
that.
not sure the basis of that stat, but that it was a stat that I heard, and I do believe at the elite level that's certainly the case.
Yeah.
I mean, they're making 10, 15-foot run backs regularly now, so.
Yeah. Yeah. So they'll come around here for Yamamoto. Looking to just be behind the corner and stay above the tee line. He won't do that. I don't know how much you want to sweep that one back. You're probably going that way with this draw. And you are.
Yeah, because that run back is made. Of course, Yamaguchi was trying to get the force, but now that's slipping back a little bit. 2 might still be on here.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. All made possible for those of you watching that maybe are still trying to work your way through the strategy of the game and why shots are good and not so good is that rock stops 4 feet shorter and it's in a great spot. And Yamaguchi probably can't use it as backing. Well, or Colli, so he can't use it as backing. Now he can, so that's why the importance of being a little bit lighter on that shot. But this one's going to have to do some moving and maybe some slowing down. Should get over there, I think. But yeah, not quite, just a little bit heavy. You would have seen a lot of teams that are very comfortable with understanding the speed of the shot that would have worked on that rock to get that over. Certainly wouldn't have taken a lot, Jason, I don't think, to get that over to the red one. They didn't touch it. And
yeah, you're right, Jim. Because that rock was only a foot behind that red stone, they probably could have carved it over and probably gotten half onto that red stone, and then you would have sat in front of it. Wouldn't have bounced off probably because of the speed wasn't too high. If it was, another 3 or 4 feet deeper, then probably carving it, you're still chapping off. But
yeah, I agree, and I think it would have been, it wouldn't have taken very much. At the very least, it would have been shot rock and forced him to have to do something with it. And I'm not 100% sure what they're playing. I don't think I saw him put the broom down or talk about the call, but know in about 2 seconds. So it looks like just a draw to the right-hand side of the sheet as we look at it on the overhead. Now the left side. You don't want to set up a double on those 2 high ones.
yeah, as long as they get it past that top red one, they'll be fine. And I think you're going to get the force here.
Ice has been great here in Martensville all week. It's had a nice finish to it. It's had nice speed. So Alberto Ziza. I gotta say, get that right, maybe. Now with his first here in end number 2, he's gonna have to play the hit on the red. Probably looking at being forced here to a single. Might be able to make a roll over on top of the red. That's back of the 12-foot there.
Yeah, certainly you should try to roll it to see if you can get 2 out of this situation. Or at least make the difficulty of Yama's last shot a little bit more tricky.
Yeah. So Ziza now. The outturn hit. Looking for about probably a 4.5, 5-foot roll if he could get it. Looks like it's going to curl over the top of that. Maybe go the other way.
Yeah, maybe go the other way, Jim.
Yeah.
pretty close the other way. That's just
Yeah,
as good.
that is very nice. They might have been playing it that way. They didn't
Yeah, I
seem
think
like they
so.
were. Yeah, it didn't look like they were kind of caught off guard by where the rock was when he let it go and all that. So very, very nice shot for Alberto. Now sitting 1. And really tough little freeze for Yamaguchi here.
Oh, very tough. I mean, you only have about a 1-foot area to probably land this and be shot stone still and be frozen. So very precise shot here.
Shots are made slightly easier when you have nice quick ice, and we're told basically this ice, the draw speed this week was in the neighborhood of 15.5 for the entire week pretty well, which is very nice. This one's going to have to curl a mile.
Yeah, I think it absolutely does. They really never had the weight or the line there.
No. No, so an open hit here in end number 2 for Alberto Ziza and Team Colli. We've not seen this team before at all so far. Somewhat impressed with how they throw the stone and how they're playing the game. But it's early. It's a big shot here. You don't want to overthrow this. You just need a nice kind of, usually somewhere around a board weight shot here. Maybe control if you like to throw that speed. And you'll be fine. Sweeper's doing really nothing other than just a little bit of cleaning. And this looks like it's going to be a nose hit. Very nicely done for Team Colli, and they will pick up 2 here in the second end. Take an early 2-1 lead as we go to the break here in Martensville.
Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. TheRockShop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
So welcome back to Curling Stadium's broadcast of the Canadian Open Tier 2 Challenge here in Martensville. Tiebreaker edition this morning. We have a 4 games going on the ice. It's only a 4-sheet club, so 4 games going on, all tiebreakers, all winners in, all losers out. 3 of those games are the men's draw, and 1 of the ladies. We will bring you up to date on those a little bit, and probably another end or 2. Right now, we're going to end number 3 with the Italian team, skipped by Giacomo Colli, holding a 2-1 lead over Team Yamaguchi, playing without their skip, Karuizawa, who is not here this weekend. Playing all weekend with or a weekend. We keep saying weekend, and really we've been here since Tuesday morning, so we've barely gotten to the weekend now.
Yeah, it has been really drawn out, but we only have 4 sheets here in Martensville, and you've got 16 teams on both the men's and the women's side of this draw. So they were only playing 1 game a day through that preliminary round, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So not a very heavy schedule.
No, not at all. Sometimes, and sometimes that's tough to deal with, especially if you have a, it's okay to have 1 game a day sometimes, but occasionally if you play in the morning one day and then late in the evening the next day, you're off the ice for, 36 hours or more, and that's a long time to be off in a Bondsfield setting. That's a very nice draw there. Koizumi.
Yeah, perfect freeze there.
All the slam events pretty much start this early now, and even just if you just have the single, you don't have the tier 2 involved, and it's just so easy, so long rather. And I don't know what's going to happen in a couple of years. We won't try to figure that one out with the whole Rock Channel and the team event and whatever, but those events are due to start on Tuesdays and finish on Sundays as well. So that's 4 weeks just for 4 Bondsfields, and doesn't count most of the rest of the stuff you play in. So it'll be interesting to see. That's still about really a year away or a year and a half away, but nice shot there too. So some nice draws coming down here in the third end. We did mention already this speed. If you're somebody that's into split times, you're looking at about a 4.6 for a draw, which is unheard of at my curling club, that's for sure. We don't really see that kind of speed, and we feel like we have reasonably quick ice, but we don't get anywhere near 4.6 for split time. We're more down in like 3.9s and stuff like that. But this is a super nice surface, and James Gordon, the ice maker here, takes a lot of pride in it and has done a great job. And also
certainly.
Numbers. Let's go ahead. Sorry,
certainly. 15.5 hog is pretty fast. In terms of the split times, I think some of the elite teams, they have kind of a longer split time because most of them are throwing with a bit of that pop, unlike a regular club curler who just kind of lets the rock go out of their hand without that pop. So for a regular club curler, maybe that's closer to a 4.4, but anyways, that's still very fast.
Yeah, and what Jason means by that is basically that what happens, and correct me if I'm not using the right words here, Jason. These guys, they can occasionally slide out slower, so the split time gets to be higher because they're giving it that little pop at the end. Is that basically fair to say?
Right, exactly, Jim. Yeah, that extension that they put on that stone. And some people do a larger extension than others, like Matt Dunstone has a pretty strong extension. He's probably adding 4 or 5 tenths on the stone. Others have a bit of a softer one, but still an extension. Mostly elite curlers, you do need that extension. With championship ice, the rocks are quite sharp. The ice is quite curly. You want to get that stone out to the broom with a lot of rotation, so that extension, that little pop, just helps that rock travel a little bit nicer as it goes down the ice.
So halfway through end number 3 here, Yamamoto, his first of 3, looking to remove this yellow stone. Yamaguchi with hammer. So far, that hasn't been a very much benefit to either team. Working hard to get this one by, and he'll clear it. Now he'll try to make it curl a little bit. And he does that. Maybe a little light. Would have liked to have gotten that out, I think. But not bad. He is shot rock behind the guard. This is a very quick call. Okay, he's going after it. Now it makes sense to me. I just didn't see anybody putting a broom down. I didn't know. I figured they must have talked about it, but it looked like just kind of take off and go. I have that with my team sometimes. They're just like, well, I'll just go. I don't need to know what it is until I get there.
Yeah, it is important here. They are on time clocks. That's unusual for a regular curling tour event, but for the Grand Slams, they do use thinking time, and so you see that time clock on the back. The red, of course, corresponds to Yamaguchi. The yellow clock corresponds to the Italians.
Yeah, and I love it. I love it even in these events, and I know occasionally sometimes they don't have this because it takes a lot of volunteers to make it work. And sometimes people are like, well, the volunteers don't always get it right. Well, they're close enough that if you want to keep an event even close to on schedule these days, you almost need to have the clocks. We've seen that. We've done a lot of events, Jason, and ones without clocks, sometimes a 3-hour 8-inning game is not uncommon at all. And it should never be common. So, yeah.
Yeah, the crew and the commentator are certainly a fan of the time clocks.
Yeah. And I think even the viewers for the most part, because I like to watch curling, but I don't like to watch it if it's going to be, like I say, 3 hours. So hitting a roll attempt here. This is going to roll too far. Almost perfect, but did roll a little bit too far. So Team Colli now will be able to chase that. Maybe get a little flop inside. Not a lot of ice, so there he goes, widens it out a little bit. Probably looking for I'm thinking board weight on this one.
Yeah, just try to avoid the jam.
Have to go some to make that happen, but he looks like he's fine. Should get a roll, a little bit of a roll. Perfect. Very nicely done.
Yeah, very impressed with the weight control by this Italian team.
Yeah, that was, yeah, I agree.
And I think that's one of the biggest things that makes a really good team from just a good team. And I think this is advice for the club curler as well, is especially the younger curlers or club curlers tend to overthrow their hits. And you can see the hit weight that was chosen right there, right? Just soft board weight, maybe that was even hack weight. Let the sweepers control that trajectory. And then you can also control the roll a lot easier when you're throwing a softer weight.
Yeah, I agree. And it's important to practice that and practice it a lot, because that's probably one of the hardest things to do, is to try to, throw those multiple weights and get it right every time. So gonna get the top one here. Get it out. He should get it out, but maybe not. Not quite. But he's number 2 at least. Interesting end. Once again, we have a situation up until that shot for sure, where the team with hammer is chasing the whole end. Everything's kind of reverse normal kind of for these first 3 wins. But so Ziza going to look at, I think he's looking at playing the draw right around. Could hit the back one, but he knows that Yamaguchi, if he hits the back one, Yamaguchi's going to ignore everything back there and play a draw anyway. So perhaps it's a better plan to beat him in, but you also don't want to give up a 2. So might have went back and decided to play the hit here. Looks like where he's standing, that's probably what they're going to play, but sometimes they just stand there and then move when the time comes to put the broom down.
I mean, I do agree with you that if they play the hit, Yamaguchi's going to play an aggressive shot. They don't see a blank coming here. Obviously, already with 3 yellow stones in the rings, maybe a 4th one. So they're definitely going to go around the guard.
So it looks like Ziza's going to go ahead and beat him around there. Have to make this one good if you're going to do it, though, because you don't want to be somewhere he can remove you, because he will sit 2 if he does. Makes a double or anything like that. Out turn draw. Guys are on this pretty early. Be testing the limits of this 15.5 second ice, but looks like they're going to maybe get there, maybe not. Needs full 8. Needs a little more than full 12 if he can get it.
Yeah, good sweeping. Just got it there.
Yeah, excellent brush for sure. I agree. It's didn't look like it was going to get there, and it's a big difference if it gets there or doesn't get there. So well done front end.
It does leave this double, though.
Yep. May not play it. Looks like he's sort of, oh, there now he's tapping the front one. Makes this he'd sit 2, James. Jason, rather, sorry.
No worries. Of course, we have James Gordon.
I'm James even, but I know go by James, but that's what it's officially at.
James Gordon on site, always doing a great job here in Martensville. Yeah, I think the double's the right call here. I mean, if you draw, that yellow run back is pretty short. That being said, it could jam on the back yellow one. If you drew, they played a run back. But I think I like this.
Yeah,
It
me
keeps
as well.
quite open.
Yeah, and if you don't quite make the double, you're number 2, number 3, so he's probably not going to ignore 2 rocks in the house, and we'll have to go after yours anyway. If he were ever to jam this and just sit open, I don't think that he would ever run the risk of leaving those and trying to draw around. So Yamaguchi now with his first. Does have hammer here in number 3. It's going up firm. Trying to make the double. It's going to be close. Might over curl.
Yeah, just over curled on him a little bit. They are sitting second and third, and as you telegraphed, Colli's going to hit the open rock at the back to try to sit first and second again. They do have to be a little bit careful not to roll out. It is so close to the back of the rings that they get it a bit too low. They could roll it. They could also draw.
They definitely could, because that red one, I wasn't really anticipating it ending up there, to be honest. I thought he'd either hit it, make the double, or jam it back there, or even roll a little bit to the open side, in which case the hit would be more logical for sure. But it still looks like they've settled on the hit, but you're right. Definitely can't roll out here. So moving all in pretty good pace in this one. Hit and stick for last rock thrower Alberto Ziza. It's gonna curl a little bit. Looks pretty good.
Looks really good.
Lose it.
Wow, almost lost it. Maybe there's a double now. I think they are 1-2, but there is a double now. Just rolled a bit too far.
Yeah, just a little bit too casual on that. They didn't really need the roll. Wasn't really going to do them any good. So they were fine to stay where they were, and they just didn't. Easy enough to do. You just kind of figure out it's good, and then it just curls that 1 extra inch or half an inch, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, shoot. He's got to make it, but just the same, he shouldn't really have had this opportunity. So Yamaguchi with a chance for 2 here. Yamamoto just doing a little bit of tidying up, just in case there's something on the ice. Usually isn't, but does have to make the double here to score his 2. This one might overcurl as well.
I think it is overcurling. Hopefully they can hold it for 1. Will they get the second one? They did. They did hold it.
Yeah, good job, because I thought it was already past that back one. So, going to have one more look at it here, Jason. It sure looked like this was going to go too far on the curl.
Yeah, Yamamoto on it right out of his hand here. And it looked like it was wanting to curl right here. I thought he was maybe going to overcurl, but he held it right in that spot.
So, a big deuce and a 3-2 lead as we go to break here in Martensville.
Hey Mark, you ready for this game tonight?
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Cupsy, what are you doing over there?
Don't worry, boys. Was just on AztecSafety.com, took a fire extinguisher safety course. Paul, I'm putting out the fires from now on. Woo!
Who knew after 20 years in real estate I'd have to make silly videos for Instagram and come out behind a tree?
Stu, we need to do this stuff.
Why can't I just door knock into open houses like I did in the old days?
That doesn't work anymore.
Okay, so it's because I'm sitting here behind a tree. Come use us for real estate.
Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
So end number 4 coming up here, and just would like to mention to everyone watching, those of you that are seeing these commercials run through, we want to thank our sponsors for investing in us here at Curling Stadium and appreciate their contributions to making broadcasting curling possible for us. So thanks to all of them. Please consider them when you're for your support when you're out in the real world buying or anything at all, or getting a haircut. Yamaguchi didn't really look like he was going to score 2 in that until the very end.
Yeah, as you mentioned, one little mistake from the Italians. Just maybe got a little bit too casual on the sweeping on that last stone, and it rolled in the spot where it left that double.
Yeah, it's easy to do, and you'll learn that very quickly when you're playing in these events. You might do that in your club for the entire season and have nobody go ahead and make the double on you, but you're going to pay the price usually at this level for something like that every time.
Yeah, and even at the higher levels, it can happen. The game against, I think, Holly Duncan and Christina Black, team left one guard a little bit casual, and it didn't quite cover the correct side of the stone they were trying to protect in the house, and that left a hidden roll.
Yeah.
And that almost led to a big score for Team Duncan there. They did get out of the end, Christina Black, but after they made that mistake and Duncan made that hidden roll in the next shot, they were very careful with the sweeping on the next few guards, getting it to the right spot. So they learned their lesson very quickly.
Yeah. So Koizumi here is going to look to come down to the yellow stone, maybe bump it out. And he needs to make it curl still, and it's going pretty hard now. Once it gets going, it goes pretty good usually. We'll barely get it out, but he did get it out, so it's all good. Just if you're wondering, you're looking at the scoreboard. The scoreboard just hasn't had a chance to get it updated yet. It is 3-2 for Yamaguchi as we play N4. With Colli having hammer here in 4. Pretty tight match so far. Italian's looking to put it back. Maybe not quite so deep, so it's not quite as easy to remove, but it's going to slide back a little too far. Remain shot rock, but because you're calling really the same shot they just played, maybe just a slight little bit less weight to make sure they get the curl, because it is over a little bit further, I think.
Yeah, it is buried a bit more. I suppose you could try to attack it from the intern side or the clockwise side, from the board side in, but they haven't really seen any rocks out there, so maybe worried about the line, they go out there.
Yeah, there's a time and a place when you're willing to sort of guess at that, but maybe this isn't the time. And they know this side pretty good, so
Yeah, there is a lot of distance between the rock in the house and that guard, so they just saw this path.
Yamamoto's first rock here in fourth. This one's got to curl a lot too, but might get it there. Looks like he will. Will he have enough to get it out? Not quite sure.
Let's stick around though.
Yep. Yeah, two, and one of them buried, so he's in pretty good shape. Looks like Colli's going to run this front one. He can probably get all the res actually if he hits this in the right place.
Yeah, if he can get just the top two even, he'll be in pretty good. He'll be pretty happy about it. Only one corner guard left.
Yeah, no shortage of weight on this one. This is humming down there. And he'll get that one and won't quite get that one. That's a bit unlucky. So very good, well done though, and to make contact with all three of those, pretty good effort. Could have easily managed to get them all. Just hitting that back one just slightly less or slightly more, one of them. Yamaguchi though with a chance to come around again.
Yeah, that thrown stone stayed up as a center guard, so gives Yamaguchi the chance to come in here. Try to sit two again.
It wouldn't be the worst end to get forced if you're Colli, but it would be a great end to score more than one if you're Colli. So I'd really like to have a shot at getting two or more here. Izumi on the brush. This one going hard. Got it by. Maybe not exactly what he was looking for, but still got 4 rocks to come. He could easily go after the yellow one that he just played here, and might not be a bad shot. It just kind of, you're going to go with the draw, I think. Guess more chip shot than a draw. Trying to just sneak it by that guard, and they will not get by the guard.
They might still roll in now, just a bit too much weight or a little bit too thin on that guard to roll in and stick around. Yeah, they were trying to hit that guard and try to spin it in or roll it into the behind the corner guard there.
Yeah. Maybe a fancier shot than they needed right then, but Yamaguchi probably coming around everything. So Yamamoto now will throw the out turn, come around, try to put this probably 4 foot behind the guard. Yamamoto catches up just to offer some assistance if need be, and he will go on this. This is going to be very good, I think. Very nice shot. Looking for that same shot we thought they were going after previously, where he's just going to try to hit the high red one, roll behind the corner. I don't know for sure if he's got enough shots left to bring it back into play, but let's get it over there for starters and gives Yamaguchi something else to think about as he throws his next one.
He definitely has to move that stone that's in the top of the 12 right now. That's blocking the path for sure. Of course, that stone, top 4, biting the top 4 for Yamaguchi in a great spot. this one, well, they might make the double here. They got close. Well, yeah, moved all 3 stones. That's a really good shot.
Yeah, good result there for sure. It was a bit scary for a minute. It looked like he might just kind of feather that top one again, but
Oh, he was very close to that top one for sure.
yeah, they did manage to get it by, and much better situation. Still looking at a couple, and Yamaguchi throwing to draw to sit 3 and maybe have 1 buried, but regardless of all of that, it's still a much better setup than he was. At least he has his own yellow one there that he can use if he needs to.
But for Yamaguchi, still, they've got the force in play. They still have a center guard to go around, so they're pretty happy about the situation as well.
Yes, life is good when both teams are happy for at least another couple of shots. Yamaguchi with the outturn, come around draw. Indicating it's probably a little hot, a little bit warm maybe. Just judging by him putting his hand up in the air, you see that a lot from a lot of these teams, particularly the Asian teams do use hand signals a lot, which is, I think, a great thing. But this is going to be too deep. So in a perfect world, Jason, with this shot from Colli, which is going to be, I think, a draw. I can't imagine he wouldn't be playing some kind of a draw here. Would you? Where would you like to stand up?
Well, they're debating a hit actually as well. I guess the problem with the draw is you're behind the tee if you try to go to the back one. So Yamaguchi could lock one on. They're looking at this tin roll, which isn't a terrible option. That's a tight port to get through, though. But you do have a natural catcher. So I don't mind the hit, quite honestly, because I don't know if you can get a draw in a great spot right now.
Yeah, I just, it makes me a little nervous on this in-turn port. It's there, but you haven't got a lot of wiggle room. But other than that, I would like it for sure. If you had a little tiny bit more room in that port, I definitely wouldn't mind this shot. I like the out-turn draw to the full 4 foot, but it does have to be perfect.
Yeah, you have to be buried in the top of the 4, I think. I don't think coming to the back helps you as much.
No.
You could just throw this as a straight-arm double here. You could sit first, third, and if that one is biting in the back, at 4th, if you can make the double.
Yep.
And then Team Yamaguchi, they'll have to be careful, very careful with the placement of their last stone.
See, not a lot of ice here. Really, if you're going to go after this shot because of the stagger and everything else that's involved, you do have to throw this with some solid weight. And Ziza lets it go. Sweeping to hold it straight. Looks pretty close to that guard. Yeah, and didn't really come all that close to it. I think what happens, until you really get used to those shots and playing them in big situations, I feel like, and I could be wrong a little bit, but you see those guards more than the real good players would see them. Like, you're just looking at those things and thinking, man, I just can't do this, can't do that, blah, blah, blah. It's just kind of like, I think the good players, it's almost like they're invisible to them, those rocks. So that doesn't really accomplish too much for them, but it did move the guard. So Yamaguchi could easily leave them with a simpler shot than they would have had that time.
Yeah, and you're talking about, how you see the guards, whether they're in play or not, and how you throw the rock. And I think a lot of that can be helped by some good visualization techniques, visualizing the shot, visualizing that line that your rock will go through, and then taking out the rest of the distraction. So if that guard shouldn't ever come into play, you just imagine it's not there, visualize that path, and throw it to the room.
Yeah, and I know for personal experience that I do tend to sometimes see that stuff too much, and as a result, throw it almost with that in mind, and that never is a good thing. So the outturn draw now, we're looking at top 8 foot, really, for Yamaguchi. This rock is way out there again. But it finishes so hard. Actually pretty good. They've left a bigger port, bigger teaser, if you want to call it that. So, and it is there, and as you mentioned, the catcher is there as well. So You can go through here. You do have a little more room than you had a minute ago. Blank all that other stuff out that we just talked about and throw it right at the broom and don't play around with it, and you should be fine. So Alberto Siza now with his last one here in the fourth, and a hit against 4, looking to score a single here in end number 4 and tie this up. Well, I'll tell you what, he's not wide. On it early. Looks pretty nice right now, actually. Got to get it off that outside one. Got to get it off of that, and he will not. Can they get that out? And they will not do that either. So a big, big mistake here for Team Colli. And it's looking like 3 reds, I think, will be the verdict. Yeah, 1 for sure, 2 for sure. The third one at the back.
Having a look here. Well, that was unexpected. The way they were sweeping it at the beginning, it looked like it was tight. Maybe just held that line a little bit too well.
Yeah, exactly. So it looks like it's going to be 3 here for Yamaguchi, but it might end up being 4. So maybe we'll go to break while they track down the measuring device, and we'll come back right after this with an update on the score here in Martensville.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
Which isn't very hard. So we are back where Yamaguchi has just scored a bunch. We're going to wait for them to post here, but we are thinking 3 or 4. Too bad for Team Colli. That really was a great game. It's not that it's over, but it's a significant deficit now where it is there. So it is a 3, which is better than 4, no question. And you'll feel a little more into it, and the curling math can still work a little bit for you here, but a couple little calisthenics. Get ready. And we're ready to go. A tough break. That really looked like it. We thought the rock would probably might overcurl, and then it just never ever got off that outside guard, James.
Yeah, they just held that line a little bit too good. I'm not sure if it was miscommunication.
So here we go. Koizumi now with his first and number 5. We're halfway through this one. teams credit for playing well within the time allotment, so that's a good thing. This one's going to go a little bit deep. Not bad, though. A couple of corners going up here for Team Colli for sure. Probably 2.
Yeah, they need to generate some offense, so a couple corner guards, I think, is a good call here. Down by 4 points now, 6-2.
This one looks pretty good. The length and distance, or whichever that you want to call it, where you place those corner guards, usually predicated just by how much curl there is in the ice. And, you know, speed a little bit, but mostly just how much curl you're going to have. No point throwing a corner guard that's way out by the hog line if they can just come right around it and get it. So that's a pretty good placement, I think, on this ice where that rock is. Yamamoto on the brush. This one's coming right in on top. No surprise with a 6-2 lead, but
yeah, didn't really want to tap it too much here. It starts to create a wall at the back of the rings, and you want your opponents to create that wall for you. You don't want to make the wall yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So corner going up on the other side now. Lead stone Fabio Ribata, I guess. And same weight, basically. Very nicely done. Lee's job well done this end. Things at least started in the right direction.
Yeah, and of course, 5 rock free guard zone. Those 2 guards can't be peeled off yet, so you're going to see Team Yamaguchi throw up a guard here. Protect their 2 stones that are in the rings.
Yeah, Yamaguchi looking for this to be in the house or very, very close to in the house. So Colli has his corner guards up. The 3 rocks, the opposition stones end up where they usually do in this situation, somewhere around the 4 foot. And here's where it starts to get interesting. So he's going to ignore all of that and ask second stone Francisco Dezana to come around the corner guard. Could be a little bit warm though. Can't be heavy. Whoa, somebody almost took a tumble in the next sheet. This is a bit of a disaster here for Francisco for sure. Had to have that in play someplace. So it looks like a peel on the guard. First, 1 corner guard, which is going to eliminate 50% of the opportunity for Team Colli.
Yeah, that rock really needed to be, well, even if it ended up short and in the guard zone, at least that's something you can still use. Through the rings is not good.
No. So the appeal coming for Yamamoto, and looks like he's going to be fine. Yamaguchi take this right out, right to the wall. For those of you that are looking to be a competitive young players, perhaps it's important that you do take that right to the wall. Sometimes it feels like it's kind of an irrelevant thing, but once every 20 times or 30 times, it'll come back to haunt you if you get a little too lazy on that. So coming around the other one now, Francesco will look to take some weight off of the last shot. And it looks like he has done that, but can they get a buy? I'm thinking not. That's the miss he needed to have the last time, though, to be honest.
That's right. If he did that last time, that's not a bad spot.
Yeah, because you'd still have both corners and you'd have a rock in play and some opportunity that It's going to be difficult to kind of make happen now. So Yamaguchi will look to remove that stone. I think, anyway. Could peel the corner, but I don't know if I really see any reason to not hit the yellow one that's in the house. And he will do that. Yamamoto, great hitter. And he comes barreling out of there. This would be fine if it curls another half an inch, and it will.
Yeah, no problem there.
No, I don't know if he needed all that weight, but he had it anyways. If I had it, I'd use it because I would love to just have some week sometime where all of a sudden I could throw it that way. So another attempt to come around the corner. Probably, if he makes this, he's going to have to start to think, or if he doesn't make it, either way, he's going to have to start to think about what he does with those red ones in the middle. But for now, just get around the corner, get something buried, which so far has been difficult, but this one looks very good. That's pretty much perfect.
Yeah, well done there.
I'm going to chase that. From here, it looks like it would be just a peel on the corner, but just looking for maybe hack weight. We'll tap on the shoe. And this may work out perfectly, but you always have to be careful with this, Jason? Like, you throw this just a tiny little bit heavy, you slide by everything, and it's, all of a sudden the end starts to look a little messier than it needs to look when you have a 6-2 lead.
Oh, absolutely agree. Now trying to carve it over. It is moving over nicely. Yeah, well played. They rolled another one to the middle.
Yeah, I guess if you can make them that good, then there's no worry for that. So, nice shot. Colli's going to have to look at moving stuff back a little bit here, I think, now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Doesn't have to move it very far. He just needs to get some get those 2 or 3 rocks to go back even, 2 or 3 feet. Create a little bit of a wall back there, maybe.
Yeah, get them to the back 4.
Yep. Definitely in some trouble here. So Giacomo Colli out of Trentino, Italy. This looks pretty good. He can hold it straight and not make contact with that top one. And it will. So you can see right idea there. Probably just need a touch more curl or a touch more weight or both. But a pretty good effort, and we'll leave. Definitely it'll be a pocket of some sort here when it's done. I believe, unless he does that exactly right there. That was a good time to show us that little, maybe hit it right on the nose and stay right there. Even if you lose that back one, you're going to make it very tough.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking the best shot, I think, is that nose hit. Leave your shooter up on the top. If you go for the straight peel, as you mentioned, Jim, there is that pocket now. The pin is available.
Yep. So pretty much a nose hit, maybe half a rock roll to the inside would be okay, but another solid weight. They don't fool around in these shots, and that's not such a bad thing when you have a big lead and there's rocks around that might get jiggled a little bit, although this could leave a lot more than he would like to leave. So an opportunity now for Team Colli, a big opportunity. Probably would like to get to the inside a little bit and maybe flop over onto the outside red as we look at the overhead. I don't think you want to stay right there because then he can just blast it from his zone onto it. But a chance I don't know if I thought he'd have, so time to take advantage. Still a chance to grab a deuce here.
Yeah, much needed. Yeah, I'm not sure Yamaguchi fully committed to playing that nose hit shot on the last one based on the weight he threw. Just wanted to be very safe and get the stone out of there.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Jason. I think it just seemed like a lot of weight for throwing a shot that you're trying to hit on the nose. Really no need. Sometimes you need it. So let's see where this goes. If they can make this curl a little bit more yet.
Pretty good.
Yeah, really good, yeah.
But you can make the red onto yellow and make the yellow go to the right from the overhead angle. I think that will be the easiest way, perhaps, to get that yellow stone out of there.
Yeah, that was one problem where if you didn't get far enough roll on the inside, if that rolls another rock width, say, it's really tough to get rid of it. But for now, it's going to be a little short angle run for Yamaguchi. Looks like Tsuyoshi Yamaguchi. Judging by the weight he threw in the last one, I would not expect this to be any lighter. And probably the right weight for this shot now. Yamamoto's on the brush. Should have this.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, well done. They can throw that big weight straight, I'll tell you that. Give them credit for that. They don't seem to have any trouble at all ramping that up. So a draw for 1 against 4 for Alberto Ziza and Team Colli here.
Yeah, it looks like they can just come to either of those red stones, probably. They rub off that one on the side of the 4 or come to the back one on the back of the 4. They'll be shot stone.
Yeah. Communication is pretty much key here, just so that you don't end up finding yourself caught in between somewhere and it overcurls a little bit and you hit and flop and give up a single. It doesn't look like that's going to happen anyways. It's going to have to curl, if anything. This is looking very close. Needs to curl a little bit more, but he doesn't even use any of those. Well done. Nice draw for Alberto, and they will pick up a single here in end number 5. Continue to trail 6-3 here in Martensville as we go to break. We'll be back in right after this.
Brett, come on, man. I know Aztec's #1 for online safety training, but we really should be out here practicing.
I know, guys. I'll be right there. Just let me finish this course on gas detection. Wait. Do you smell that?
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatchewan in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbeck coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsoctickets.com. Let's rock!
So back for end 6, sorry. With Team Yamaguchi well in control here. Look like we've had a rock moved off the center line, and no tick rule comes into play, and they put it back. So a little bit of a break there for the Italians, and they'll look to throw another guard. That's a really good guard. Now, if they can put one up higher, keep that separation as the max, They will have done a good job for lead Fabio Rabata. Don't know if it's going to quite get over there enough. But try to move it over. The dilemma, how far? Not a bad effort. He would have liked to bit that center line, but again, two pretty good rocks for the lead stone. He had a couple of nice ones last end as well, so doing his job. Got to giving your team a chance by making those shots.
Yeah, having only taken a single point in the last end, down by 3 with 3 to play, 6, 7, and 8, you are really thinking about steal, steal, steal here.
Yeah, pretty much have to, eh? So Colli looking for the, as you saw, the big curling broom loop that we see sometimes. Want to just come around everything here. I would have thought probably top frozen to the red, but he's going to try to maybe come right to the back. This is a hard one to sweep. You haven't got a lot of room to work with. Gonna go by the red, as you called it. This doesn't touch it. It's a beauty. Holy cow. Great shot.
I thought you said it was hard. That looked easy.
Thought it was hard.
Oh, they made it look easy. That was a great shot.
I'll tell you, Francesco did a good job. Last time he struggled a little bit with a couple of shots the last time, but not that time. That was a dandy. So Koizumi, his final one here in 6. Trying to make a peel, maybe a double peel. No, he'll just get the single. Might not even have been trying to make the double. Could have possibly run it back into his own, but Yamaguchi with hammer here in a 6-3 lead. Certainly any score at all here would just about put a death nail in the chances of Team Colli. But for now, Francesco Dezzana will look to make another good shot. This time, I think if your corner froze on the red would be the best shot. You don't want to rub that guard. Well, he's not going to do that. I guess maybe there's playing a straight guard.
Yeah, I think they're just playing a straight guard for now.
Yeah.
Want to keep this as high as they can, make the double peel quite difficult. That would be a very difficult double peel right now. Nice guard there. You're right. Also, you could have come in and corner froze to that red guard. I don't mind this high guard here. I think Yamaguchi will elect to peel at least for 1 or 2 more rocks anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no hurry for him to go do anything but that really at this point. Whoa. These guys they're young and agile, and it's a good thing because when you're sweeping with one guy and you throw as much weight as these guys throw on their up weight and peel shots, you're trying to get any brush strokes in at all. You got to kind of fly down there. It's like mixed doubles, supersized almost sort of thing. So, so another draw for Team Colli. Looking for a guard again, I think.
Yeah, I believe so.
Want to get it over. Definitely want to get it over. I don't know if he's going to, and he will not. So Yamaguchi could not have got out here to play his peel any faster after that rock comes up short. That's just such a hard shot, you know. It's just you're just trying to throw it a foot over the hog line. Comes another peel. Straight peel.
And now things have gotten a lot simpler for Yamaguchi, but still, Collies, they do still have shot stone on the back of the button, so still an opportunity for them to steal a point here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a very good opportunity. That's a tough draw. If it ever comes down to Yamaguchi having to draw on the last one to score, there's not a lot of room to make that from whichever side you end up playing it. For now, got to get the guard back up there. Not too long with this one. You'd like to be probably, I don't know, half a dozen feet, probably 6 feet, maybe 5 feet in front of the rings, something like that. You don't want to get too tight, but you don't want them to be able to just come all the way around it either.
You got a little bit more weight on this one. Waiting for it to come down a little bit now, curling it over just a hair. Not a bad shot. Nicely done.
Yeah. So peel attempt come again now. Straight peel. Not looking to run that back. Could, but doesn't have to, so just going to play the straight peel. Yamamoto. You don't have a lot of choice here. You don't have to overthink it, really. It's just guard, and then hopefully get to guard again and hope that's good enough to steal one. If it's not, Yamaguchi picks up one. You go to the next end. No, wait, needing 3 to have a shot coming home. So for now, it's going to be a guard.
You can see from this angle, Yamaguchi does have a piece of that yellow stone in the back. They could potentially pick it if that's the only thing they have left.
Yeah.
That's why they're trying to guard this a little bit on that side, but enough such that they can't make the red tap as well. Try to guard both shots if they can.
Yeah, that'll be really important on the next one as well if they just rep this guard because, because obviously Yamaguchi would try to come right around. But if you put it in tight enough, even if you attempt them to go ahead and play the what would be a red, yellow run, you never know. You could end up messing that up. So it's a very aggressive call, but I don't know that I don't know the scoreboard dictates that this would be the right call. In my book, anyway, I think I'm still peeling that guard. Even if you make this shot, you're going to leave probably a pretty good opportunity for the Italians to use that center guard in some form or fashion. Yamaguchi with his first here in end number 6, trying to play the come around tap on the red. Just going to bump it right by.
Yeah, but might leave it in a spot where he's got 2 setup shots, but if they can get right to the face of their own yellow stone.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's by playing that shot, there was a possibility you could have a difficult shot to prevent a steal of 2, and I don't know why you put yourself in that position. So I don't think you can be worried what they're going to do with theirs. I think it'd be interesting. They're going to have a timeout here and talk about it. Do you like the freeze on your own, Jason, or is that just going to be too easy for them to come off? And
Well, I kind of like the freeze on your own. I feel like that's probably the best chance to steal a point here.
Yeah. Coach right out on the ice surface. That's interesting. I don't know if that's even... They might allow that here because there's no side boards or anything for you to get close. Although I don't know if I've seen that before.
Yeah, so normally the coach is not allowed to step onto the ice. You usually have to be restricted to the back board. So,
yeah. But regardless, they are going to chat about it, and they could also play, I suppose, you could play the little tap, whether it's in-turn or out-turn, on the red, just tap that back so he can't use it, make the little flop inside. Just a little more difficult to do, but it may be a little bit safer. I would think Yamaguchi, given how hard he can throw, would then just hit the red one half or the red rock and flop over there and take something out and probably end up with a shot at the end of the day. But for now, looks like it's going to be the out-turn, little tap and roll kind of shot for Ziza.
yeah, you'll need a bit of a mistake from Yamaguchi regardless here. Yamaguchi's going to have a shot for sure.
Yeah. To get by. They will. This could be really, really nice, actually. That's a lovely shot, Jason. But like we said, it looks like there's a very good possibility that Yamaguchi would play this shot. He might even be for two, to be honest, when it goes in and goes bounce back up and pops the yellow back up. But for now, make sure you hit half of the red or thereabouts, and you should be fine. Probably not giving up two, but so Yamaguchi with his final rock here. And then 6. Looks like he's going to make contact there. He's fine. And he will score 1 here in the 6th end. So, nice shot by Yamaguchi. Unfortunately, that for the Italians, there wasn't much more they could do but what they did there. And he just made a good shot.
Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at the RockShop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. The RockShop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
So back here for the 7th end of the Grand Slam of Curling Tier 2 event tiebreakers, the Canadian Open in Martensville, Saskatchewan. You're watching on Curling Stadium and the Stadium Sports Network. Reminder, too, that we are going to be here all day long, right through the semifinals. So lots of curling to watch from this Tier 2 event.
Yeah, all-day action here with quarterfinals, women's and men's semifinals as well. And we talked about who's in the men's quarters already. 5 teams already there, but the women's quarterfinals, we've got Corinne Brown. They're waiting for the winner of the tiebreaker game. That's between Madeline DuPont and Kate Cameron. Serena Gray Withers will be playing against Taylor Reese Hansen, Isabella Arano playing Christina Black, and Park playing Laws for the quarterfinals on the women's side.
Yeah, so some good matches lining up there as well.
Well, Jim, down by 4 again, so you are really looking for 3 points here. Then try to steal the 8th, steal the extra.
Yeah, certainly not an easy task, but it's at least doable. Got to make everything perfect. Second time I've seen teams in this position throw the center guard first and put it on the biting the center line so that it can't be moved around at all. So Koizumi.
Yeah, seems a little unconventional, but
yeah,
sorry about that.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it seems a little unconventional to throw that center guard without hammer, but as you said, if it was thrown as a corner, it could be pushed into the rings and then removed. So that's why they throw that center guard, so they have one that can't be removed. Then you throw a corner that's a bit higher, not enticing to push in because you don't need to push it in because after that you can start hitting.
Yeah. So I'm not sure he's got enough guards out here yet, but he is going to come in on this one. Just come down to the red stones in the button, on the button. Move them ever so slightly maybe, or even don't move them is not the end of the world yet. It's so early in the end, but if I had my choice, I'd rather bump them probably a foot just to give myself a little wiggle room. But for now, this is the intern come around looking pretty close, really. Both sweepers on here. Got to get by that top one. They'd like to at least get to these ones, and they will get there. Pretty good effort, probably a hair light, but understandable. You don't want to be heavy there. Yamaguchi going to peel the guard now. Hit half a rock. Fine, picks out a red one at the back of his own, moved it back rather, guess didn't pick it really out that much, but so a little bit to work with for Team Colli here as they come around, attempt to come around the corner on this one.
Yeah, for the viewers who are watching right now on that right-hand side of the screen, you can see the score line 5-3. That's the game between China's Xu Xiaoming and Japan's Takumi Maeda, and it is Xu Xiaoming of China leading 5-3 in that game.
Yeah, I kind of told viewers we'd update them on scores sometime about an hour ago. Didn't remember to do that, but you can find all of the up-to-date scores on Curling Zone for this and pretty much every curling event being played anywhere. every week on curlingzone.com. Coming around the corner. Looking a little bit on the light side, but I think they're going to get there. Maybe, maybe not. Be nice to get a biter, and they will.
Maybe just.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, just justice for sure. You see with that corner guard being a little bit higher than they probably would like, they are going to be able to chase this, should they decide to do that. Don't know if the other two players were exactly on board with this shot, but whatever, that's what they're going to do. At the end of the day, I think they all said, okay, it's fine, let's go with it. Like to get about probably a third of a rock, maybe half a rock, and just flop back to the center.
Yeah, I agree.
Once again, looks good. They've really done a great job of managing that type of shot, because there's been a number of those that I question whether or not that's the right shot, and they've had no trouble with any of them, to be honest. Getting a little bit more difficult now for Team Colli. Four rocks to come. They'd like to make at least 2 or 3 of them score.
Yeah, they do. And of course, they still need to remove a couple of red stones to make that happen. The question is when you make that move to jiggle around those red stones.
Yeah, go ahead, Jason.
Sorry, Jim. I was wondering whether you could right now make a play on that red stone that's in the full 8, almost fighting the 4. Hit that on the side that's, I guess, on the left-hand side, as you can see it from the screen. Roll the shooter low behind the corner guard and just jiggle the yellow stone back a little bit behind the tee line, so it's behind that red stone that's in the top 12. So start moving those red stones out of the way right now.
Yeah, that's an option for sure. The other option, I think that's maybe is what they called. I don't know if they're going to make it or not, but was to go around all of those to the back of the 8 foot. Since the angles are such that you can get both those reds out and save the yellow if you ever get that opportunity. But anyway, he came up short here, so that's not helpful. That was a very tough draw, but...
Well, that's kind of confused Team Yamaguchi, I think. Now that one's a guard, you just guard the situation.
Yeah.
It's funny how this game is in curling. If everyone makes their shot, the next shot sometimes becomes obvious. When you don't really make the right shot and you get a situation where you weren't expecting, that's when you have to think about it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Would Yamaguchi ever play just the straight hit on that red on the top of the 4 foot, like with some weight? Remove the yellow stone. It's going to go. It's going to bounce off your own. You're going to lose that one too, but I don't know how much that really matters right now.
Thank you. Oh my goodness.
So they did call a timeout here, I guess. I didn't even see that, but they did call a timeout. They have a coach out here to discuss the options. The guard was certainly one option, and probably not a bad one at all. You could basically hit the red on the nose. Excuse me. So I'm not sure what they settle on here, but we'll know in a minute.
I'm not sure they've settled, have they?
Well,
they peel a guard.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is, I didn't mind hitting your suggestion, hitting the red stone, killing the yellow stone. I think that just comes off the back red on the button and shoots out the side. I'm not really sure how they get more than 2 out of that situation. They can go around a guard, then you peel it off. You'll have an open hit for sure. So you can't do worse than giving up 2 if you, I think, make the hit now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that guard was really a problem for you, but regardless, it's no longer there, so. So Team Colli now trying to figure out how do we manage to get 2 here. And going back, way back in this end when you'd mentioned that we could find a way to move that yellow one around, maybe this is the time. I just don't know that you can bounce it back and leave everything in the right position, but you might have to play it anyways. You're going to have to do something here, and it's if you bump the yellow back and just bop the red over a little bit towards the other red off the center. I'm going to have a timeout here. Then you might be able to have at least 2 in the rings, one being slightly buried and one being open, but with some catchers behind it.
Yeah, teams do get 2 timeouts here, so they're using their second one now, but we'll see how they decide to play this. But I agree, you have to, I think, move the yellow right now. I don't think playing a guard helps you at this stage. It's getting too late to play a guard here on the yellow stone. And the problem right now is that yellow stone will fly out. Any weight on that red stone, it's going to hit that yellow, come off the red on the button, and it should shoot out sideways pretty easily. So I think you have to jiggle it. Try to set up something that will jam maybe onto the back red stone.
Yep. Yeah, you just don't have any more time. You definitely have to move the yellow at this point. You got to, mostly because you got to move that red at the back on the button. We are in the 7th end in tiebreaker action here at the Grand Slam of Curling Canadian Open Tier 2 side. We've already reminded you a couple times, but stay with us today. Curling Stadium's going to have coverage of all the quarterfinals after this, and then the semis later on today. And that'll be it for our coverage as they get ready to play the final tomorrow, which from what we understand will be on Rock Channel.
Yeah, and they'll be out in the arena, I believe.
Yep, that part's for sure, yep.
Which is an interesting element to the Tier 2s. They pretty much always do that in the Tier 2s. They go to the main arena for the final, but it's adjustment for the teams, right? They've been playing at the club with the club rocks on the club ice all week, and then they go to a completely different surface.
Yeah, true enough. It was, and you know, a lot of the clubs like this one now would have conditions that aren't too variant from the arena setting, but sometimes they aren't. I know when we hosted this event with the Tier 2, we had 2 ice pads in the same arena, so we used 2 ice pads that were right beside each other, and that was kind of nice. A little bit of a bonus. We didn't have to go too far or stray too much from the same sort of setting that we would have had in both arenas, actually.
And you can have, similar rocks and make the ice in similar ways, but once you get to the arena, you have the extra factor of the fans, and so that could make a difference in how the ice changes during the course of the game. Sometimes that creates frost. Sometimes, you just got enough fans with air circulation and the right temperature that it's extra fast, or spots might run a little straighter.
Sure thing. So here comes Ziza's first shot here. No, I guess it's not. Sorry, it's Colli's final shot here. looking to move the yellow a little bit, juggle them around, as we said. This looks like it's going to do a pretty good job of that. Ooh, maybe didn't quite get as much curl as he needed.
Yeah, I think he needed a little bit more curl or maybe a little bit more weight, just get more separation, because I think this this will go, both yellows.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right. See Yamaguchi hustling down the ice. Any chance he gets to throw it hard, he's going to be excited about it, and he is, and rightly so right now, because dead on the nose of the yellow, and all the yellows go. A little bit on the inside, all the yellows go. The only thing that might happen if you ever hit it a little bit on the outside may leave one of them around, but let's see where he goes here. Yamaguchi without hammer, throwing his first and 7. He may only get the top one just because he's, oh no, there it goes. So a good shot. This rock's bouncing off the boards there, so very good shot for Yamaguchi. But still an opportunity for Team Colli here to generate a deuce in the 7th end and have a realistic shot, down 2 without coming home, but still. Stranger things have happened. But he has to get this one in where Yamaguchi can't remove it.
Yeah, get this behind that rock that's in the top 12, I think.
Yeah.
Use that rock as a guard. Maybe get it to the back of the 4.
Yep. Yeah, only opportunity here is put this behind the guard buried. Or the guard being the rock at the top of the 12-foot. They got to go. Got to get a little further yet. It's a pretty nice shot. He would have liked to have had another couple of feet on it just to make the run that little bit harder.
Yeah, I think I get another foot and a half deeper. This run becomes a little bit longer, as we were saying. This kind of 5-foot, 6-foot run back being made, 85-90% of the time. So, and especially since you're running your own color in, you don't need to worry about losing the stone that you're running in.
Yeah, exactly. That's important consideration here for sure. So Yamaguchi playing this straight run back. This one, will he hold on? It may not, and it will not. So an opportunity, a rare miss on a shot like that for Yamaguchi. Never really close to making it. And all of a sudden, Team Colli has a draw to the 4-foot, 4-2. And an opportunity to go to the 8th end, needing to steal 2 to get to an extra end, but not an easy task, but way better than trying to get 3.
Yeah, it gives you at least a sniff of a chance. Yamaguchi's just tight right out of his hand there.
Okay. Just take this, Jason. I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, this is a draw for 2. They have a bit of backing to work with. They're going to use the backing. 2 points for Team Colli. They, once again, down by 2 going into the 8th end.
Hey Mark, you ready for this game tonight?
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Cupsy, what are you doing over there?
Don't worry, boys. Was just on AztecSafety.com, took a fire extinguisher safety course. Paul, I'm putting out the fires from now on. Woo!
Who knew after 20 years in real estate I'd have to make silly videos for Instagram and come out behind a tree?
Stu, we need to do this stuff.
Why can't I just door knock into open houses like I did in the old days?
That doesn't work anymore.
Okay, so it's because I'm sitting here behind a tree. Come use us for real estate.
Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
In the house. Yeah, so we are back, and apologize for the racket there for a couple seconds. It's very world's most sensitive smoke detectors in this building. I'm not even in the same room, but anyway, it's all good. So we're back, and with Colli trailing by 2 without hammer, we've got a very nice first guard up.
Yeah, and imagine a second guard because they need to steal 2 here. And just a quick update for our Japanese fans on the other sheet, over on sheet 4. Takumi Maeda, they've taken 2 and 7 to tie the game with Xu Xiaoming of China. Xu Xiaoming, they have last stone in the last end.
So some close games on the ice this morning. This one's just got a little closer. We don't want to be too deep here, though. I really would like this to stop. At least got to the center line, but not where he'd like to be, but
yeah, that'll make the double peel quite easy on the next stone. Not this stone, they can't, of course, hit those right now, but on the following stone. So I wonder whether they'll actually throw up a third guard.
yeah, it might be a good idea, actually. Jason, just tell the truth, I wouldn't normally want to just feel like you're wasting a shot, but you might be saving a shot here by playing that third guard.
It depends how good this rock is. If this got stacked right on top, I don't know if I would throw the third guard, but now that this has come deep, I'd be tempted to throw a third guard. Yeah, I think they're motioning for 1 guard, if that's, or they could tap it back too, but.
Yeah, but to your point a second ago, the problem right now is that I know there's red catchers back there. Might catch one of these guards if you play the double peel, but they might not either with how hard these guys can throw it, and you can't afford to.
Correct.
Have both.
And if you go in and it shoots coming in, you could lose the yellow one in the house as well. So I really do think maybe 1 more guard here makes sense. If that red stone had been in a better spot, the one that Koizumi just played, then I might consider going in because you may never get a good chance to move them back. But now that one's come deep, I think I like a third guard.
Yeah, I think it's a necessary shot as well at this point. It just, at some point you can't do that for very many shots, but at least get it out there once or twice. And because right now you know that wherever this one goes in the house, Yamaguchi is throwing a double peel on those yellows. Not really too concerned about what gets jammed at the back because there won't be anything in the front. But from Francesco De Sana, his first here in the 8th, as Team Colli attempts to steal 2, force an extra in. So Team lose on this line scores earlier when I was looking at line scores, we're giving up a steal of 2 in the last end, so it can happen. Very nice shot.
Yeah, that's what they called, and it's been well made, but as you can see, this double peel, an automatic call here for Tsuyoshi Yamaguchi.
And there is a good chance that it'll go back and hit the red, but Sweeper not doing much on this. We're frozen up, unfortunately, right now. And looking at the overhead, did make the double peel, sort of. Rolled it into the house, but for all intents and purposes, cleared out any potential trouble here in the last end. So Dezana now will play what looks like going to be another guard. Oh, maybe not.
I think they tapped for a freeze, which
okay.
I wouldn't have called. I would have called for a guard right now, but let's see where it lands. I thought I saw Colli tap for a freeze, but maybe it
he might have
was
fooled
a
us.
guard called.
Just looked like when he was throwing it just looked like he was coming out with more on it than that. So, but a very nice shot, as it turns out. So 2 good ones in the 8th end here for Dezana. Yamaguchi will peel. And appeal towards the other Yellowstone.
Yeah. See if they can catch that one off the side.
Not going to make the double, but that's okay. I don't know what our time clocks are like, but nobody taking any time in this end. So, and I got to believe we're pretty good for time, but.
Yeah, I think Yamaguchi's got about 4.5 minutes, under 3 minutes for the Italians. So plenty of time. That's thinking time. So we're already halfway through the end. So 3 minutes is quite a lot for half an end of play.
Yeah. No timeouts left. That could be his only issue, but for now, it's not an issue at all. He just has to keep replacing this guard for a shot or two. It's interesting, the setup here. You peel this off a couple times, and at some point, if you decide you're going to play the red on the yellow, just touching the yellow, you could easily sit 3, force Yamaguchi to a very difficult last shot. But anyway, that's looking a little further ahead. But
yeah, they'll take a run at this peel again. See if they can catch the one on the side.
yeah, not absolutely necessary, but it would be nice to remove that one just to be sure that you don't have to deal with a possible situation where the Italians could sit 3. I'm going to throw the same shot. So Giacomo Colli. Then it gets a little more difficult. Sana and Rabata on the brushes. Another nice shot. Throwing some good shots in this end, giving themselves a chance. We do have a timeout now by the Yamaguchi squad. Don't think there should be much conversation here. I don't think, Jason. I think you're still running. Are you not still running the yellow towards the other yellow?
I think so. I think that is still the right call, is to peel off the guard. Your problem with playing this tap on this red is if you ever tapped it a bit heavy and pushed it to the back of the forefoot, now you created a huge pocket for yellow.
Yeah, you don't need to score here for sure. And coach is arriving.
Sometimes the question you ask yourself is, if you peel, what does your opponent do next? And do they come into the house? If they come to the house, then you're going to blast the yellows. Not a lot of great spots for the yellow stone without a guard out in front. They might push the red back for you. They could freeze on that yellow stone again, but they'd have to line up the freeze perfectly.
Yeah.
Even then, you can slash the red in. Even if they line up the freeze perfectly, you can angle slash your own red into those yellows and probably make them go sideways.
Yeah, I think logic tells me that peeling that guard is not going to be the best option. I feel like you have as good a chance of creating a slightly worse situation than you do a good situation by not peeling the guard, but it doesn't look like they're going to.
Now this shot I don't mind, trying to pick the yellow stone. There is some separation between the yellow and the red. If these rocks are as lively as we think they are and these guys can throw it hard, you can definitely get this yellow stone to go.
Yep.
So this shot I don't mind.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be playing anything tap or finesse.
No, I like this better than the tap for sure. So Yamamoto now with his final rock here in the 8th end. Throwing big weight. Trying to hit a quarter of the yellow stone. Eliminate it. And he's going to hit enough of it, I think. And he will. That's a good shot.
Yeah, no problem.
Now a really tough task for Team Colli to score 2. Looks like they're going to probably come around, try to tap it back. I don't even know if I'd worry about tapping it back. If you can get to the nose of it, then I think that's pretty good situation. It'll be interesting to see what Yamaguchi would do if he got there. And if he didn't make a play on that, but you may not, he may hit that second shot over there. You might be able to come around or play the run back and set yourself up to at least be sitting to and forcing him to something other than just a wide open hit. A lot of things have to go your way to make that work, but right now you're going to need some help. So Alberto Ziza with the little tap back on the red. Need to hold it. Looks like they will. Now trying to move it over. This could be very good. If it gets a little further, just maybe a little bit heavy.
Yeah, they would have preferred it to stay behind the guard, but the good news is they got it far enough out such that they are sitting 2 now.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think they would like to have got a little more curl, so probably need to be a tiny little bit lighter, but... So Yamaguchi
really,
might have the double here.
Yeah, might have. No, I don't think you need it because you always have an open hit now for the win.
Yeah. But I don't know if these guys ever shy away from a double, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to take a crack at it. He's not throwing it quite as hard this time, so Yamamoto. Right on the nose. Nothing wrong with that. It's going to be yellow chance to hit and flop, I guess. It doesn't really matter too much, just whichever rock you want him to try to hit.
Yeah, and you probably want him to hit that wide one. There's at least a chance. And maybe he throws it wide, it could jam, or it's in a slightly different spot than they've been playing.
Yeah. Yeah, you just try to think of some little reason why one might be better, or some little possibility of something going wrong. So I would agree with that. If he hits this and rolls in behind the guard, he will force Yamaguchi to go out and hit the yellow on the outside, where stranger things have happened than a jam. Sure you don't roll too far on this. Nice shot. Man, they played some nice shots in the last little while. Ever since they got down by 4. So an open hit to end this one for Yamaguchi and proceed to the quarterfinals in the men's side of the Grand Slam of Curling Tier 2 Championship here in Martensville. And a reminder again, you are watching on the Stadium Sports Network and Curling Stadium in Martensville. Yamaguchi, out-turn hit with some weight. Just has to make sure it curls enough to not jam anywhere, and it looks like it's going to be fine. We'll take the back one out, but barely. That was a little bit scarier than it needed to be, I think, for Yamaguchi, but he does hang on, Sean, or Jason. It was looking a little dicey there for a second, but
Yeah, well, good game from Team Yamaguchi. I mean, after that steal 3, they completely took control pretty close early on. The Italians, they showed their youth in some spots, but also came up with some nice shots when they needed it as well to, try to claw their way back into it. But the experience won over today.
Yep. So Yamaguchi will proceed to the quarterfinals. So I'm not sure who he's playing yet. I think these games all have to be over before that is determined. But we do know there will be another draw coming up not too long after this one, and we'd encourage you to hang around and watch here in Curling Stadium for Jason Chang, myself, and Matthew in production. We will say so long for now and see you in a couple hours back here in Martensville.